A great group. All right, here we go. Three, two, one. What's up, everybody? Mark and Sarah back for another episode of Able Today, a show committed to sharing experiences and everything you need to know related to the disability experience. Sarah, are you excited about today's guest?
We're always excited here on the Able Today show to have a wide variety of advocates, activists, and disability leaders. And I'm really excited about today's guest because we met about a year and a half ago and immediately became fast friends, Mark,
Love
as
it.
we normally do with people that, march to the beat of our drum here.
Yeah, that's natural for us. We become fast friends with everybody we march with.
That's
Uh,
absolutely true. More marching.
More marching. But we've been doing this disability journalism for a short time. Faye Simon, who everyone is about to meet from Exceptional Parent Magazine, has been doing this for 8 years, much longer than us. And I'm super excited to hear her take on how we're doing in this space. Sarah, how did you and Faye meet?
So I have been following Exceptional Parent for many, many years. During my tenure at the National Down Syndrome Society, it was a resource that we consistently pushed out. And when we were launching Able Today, I reached out to Faye to see if there'd be opportunities to partner with her audience and her followers to promote the work that we're doing at Able Today, which, Mark, as you know, and hopefully our listeners know, is to provide free able education and outreach to anybody within the community who wants it. And Faye has been a really significant champion in helping us push out that information to her readers.
Love it. Well, Faye, welcome to Able Today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you inviting me.
I'm glad you had the time today.
Make
Yeah.
time for you anytime.
Love
We
it.
are so excited, Faye, to have you on. You have published a couple of different articles over the last year or so, promoting the work of Able Today, but most importantly, some of the significant stories and milestones that Able account holders are reaching each and every single day. And I think you don't stop there. You also really help promote resources across the lifespan for the disability community, as well as other tools in the toolbox for individuals with disabilities to be able to save and work more. So it's so good to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you too.
So, Mark, I think I get to kick things off, which normally this is you. So,
Yeah.
our listeners are going to have to bear with us today. But Faye, we wanted to start off by just, obviously saying thank you for your ongoing support and information sharing about Able. Your publication is definitely inspiring to us at Able Today and with our podcast. But can you share a little bit about what you see as exceptional parents' role for parents, caregivers, and people living with disabilities in our community and beyond?
Sure. Well, Sarah, our mission is to provide information, resources, and inspiring stories on disabilities and special healthcare needs for all ages, as you mentioned, from infancy to elderly. We even have a special military section each month because of the unique challenges of military families face that are caring for a person with a disability. Our goal as a magazine is to encourage awareness, acceptance, and inclusion.
That's amazing. And Faye, we've talked about this a little bit, and I think it's a great segue, Mark, to your next question. But right now, the age of eligibility for an ABLE account is 26, and we are embarking on a significant milestone where that age will increase to from 26 to 46. Now, bear with me, a lot of sixes here in January of 2026. So I know that's one thing that Mark, Eric, and our team looks forward to working on with you in the future is how do we promote ABLE accounts to military and our veterans? Because soon we'll open up this opportunity for folks that will qualify for ABLE accounts, about 6 million more people. I mean, Mark, it's going to be huge for ABLE. This is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, you know, our biggest objective too is communicating this, making sure that people are getting this information now and not, you know, behind the eight ball when things come. Or but Faye, I want to back up because you joined Exceptional Parent Magazine at really a crossroads, right? The
Oh,
magazine was
absolutely.
struggling and really turned things around. Can you talk to us about like the energy that you brought in and the changes that you made and really
Absolutely.
coming in with the spirit to be a change maker?
Well, the way it happened was my husband is a business consultant. I was an early childhood teacher, and he was tasked with either taking the magazine through bankruptcy or saving it. So, as an early childhood teacher, I knew how important this magazine was to the special needs community. And I told him, I'll help you save it. At the time that we took it over, there was no print magazine. There was a small amount of digital subscribers who had to pay for it. And we decided that we would make the digital version free and bring back the print magazine. We felt it was very important. Um, my dream is that everybody who can benefit from this information knows about it and can use it. Um, so since I became excuse me, cut that out. So when I became editor in chief, I decided that I would expand the topics that were covered, and I would reach out to different organizations like Able Today and create partnerships, and that I would just get the word out that the magazine is here, the magazine is healthy. I reached out to writers. There are so many people who want to share their information. It's really wonderful. And sometimes I get too much. That's a great problem to have. But basically, I would like to help as many people as possible have a better life if we can help in any way.
I love that.
Just going off script a little bit, but Faye, is there like a success story or a reader or a family that you've heard from that, you've impacted their life? I always appreciate those kind of real human stories.
Well, can't really just pick out one. I can tell you that I'm constantly hearing from people. We were just at the Abilities Expo. Parents are constantly coming up to me and saying, I've been reading it since my child was a baby, or I wish I had been reading it 10 years ago and knew about it. And so many people appreciating and telling me how important it is. And this isn't just parents and caregivers, these are teachers. I mean, our audience, as well, as long as we're going off script, I'll say things I was going to say later. But our audience is made up of individuals with disabilities, parents, any part of the family, caregivers, but also education professionals, legal professionals, financial professionals, medical professionals. So the audience is really varied. And to hear that all of these people have been impacted in a positive way it makes every minute, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it makes every minute worthwhile.
Absolutely. I think, Mark, we talk about this a lot in the able space. We do a lot to reach self advocates and families and partnering with other disability organizations. But we also, and I think you raised the point, they need to do more to reach those professionals that are supporting our loved ones and, our friends with disabilities, because oftentimes when you talk to that doctor or that teacher or that case manager, is if they're talking the talk and walking the walk when it comes to promoting able, Mark, that also is just a game changer for our education and outreach efforts.
Absolutely. And to that point, Faye, we work in a lot of the same thought processes in trying to do this work and outreach and share valuable information to families that need it. And in that, though, you've gotten creative with how you are sharing that information, right? You have monthly themes, and I want you to tell us a little bit more about that.
Well,
Like, what
the
are some
idea
of your themes?
Sure. Well, the idea of themes was there. I just changed some, expanded on some. We also include non-theme articles because there's only 12 months, and I assure you there are more than 12 important topics that we need to cover. And there are many topics that I would like to cover more than once a year. So we have themes, but we also have articles that we call features that are not on theme. Now,
Okay.
one of the themes that I created was hearing, vision, and speech for March. I thought it was so important, but it wasn't given its own month. And I just felt it, just like I felt like elderly was important to give a whole month. And what was really touching was when I was at the Abilities Expo, we had this blown up poster of the March cover. And the father comes up to me and says, I cannot thank you enough. I do not see enough of that covered. And it was, I got goosebumps. It was like, so thank goodness, these are the things I'm hearing all the time. That's why I can't really pick one. But I will tell you that I didn't mention before is one of my favorite things is I can't do it every month because I would never be able to get the magazine out, but I love interviewing exceptional people. I mean, fabulous people. You see behind me, he is a Navy SEAL. He did 4 tours, and on the 4th tour, sadly, he lost both his legs. But he is one of the most positive, inspiring people you ever want to meet. And those are the kind of things that I enjoy it all. I love reading all the articles. I enjoy meeting all the people. But some of these people that I've interviewed are just phenomenal.
I can only
And
imagine
we
have a similar experience.
Right, Faye. One of the things that I find interesting is that despite the financial hardships that EP has gone through over the last couple of years, you made the decision to make online subscriptions free. I'm a huge, huge public access fan. And also having that print edition. So tell us a little bit about what went on behind the scenes to that decision process and how EP is making it available for free to anyone who subscribes. I know we constantly push out all of your information on social media, able and non-able related.
That's great. And we appreciate that because my personal dream, is that everybody and anybody who could possibly benefit from this content knows that they can read it for free. So in terms of your question, it hasn't been easy. Where we took it over, as I mentioned to you, and then we had COVID, but we rely on advertisers to keep the magazine running, but we will always have mostly content. We will never be, add, and a little bit of content. That will never happen. The advertisers do allow us to keep the valuable resource available to everybody by being able to have EP for free. We've also archived the magazines so that if someone is interested in an article from a previous issue, they can go online and read it. And for those who are visually impaired, it can be read to them. So we also brought back the print magazine. And the reason we did that, and we sell it at cost, we can't make that for free because we just can't afford it. But the reason we brought back the print magazine is there are people that can't handle the digital version for different reasons. Mm-hmm. And there's some that just truly prefer to turn pages and have a hard copy. Also, what's really good is libraries, camps, schools, doctors, and other people with waiting rooms. They can put it out so lots of people can have access to it. So EP Magazine is a labor of love. It is not a moneymaker.
That is so true with anybody who works inside this community, right, Mark?
Trust me, we completely understand. there may or may not be a link at the bottom of this screen to donate.
Donate to EP, Able Today, your favorite local disability organization.
Yes. Yes.
One
Faye,
other, I think I had the next question here too, Mark.
You do.
But Faye, one of the things that we love about EP, there's so many things, but you write a monthly intro every edition, the editor-in-chief's desk, which is a great way to introduce your readers and our fellow advocates to what's inside that month's edition. So I imagine for you, each edition is an opportunity to kind of pull together with a bow, if you will, all of the great content that you're sharing. So tell us a little bit about what being an editor-in-chief is and kind of what you do on a daily basis for our listeners.
Well, as an early childhood teacher, I've worked with children of different abilities and different needs. So, as an editor in chief, reading all these articles and interviewing the amazing people, I've really learned a lot and been incredibly inspired. So, I reach out to authors or they reach out to me. I edit and read every single article. I have to determine if the articles fit what we, have as a magazine. And we have a wonderful art designer. You like the way it looks. He is phenomenal. And in addition to just putting together the magazine, working with the authors, as you know, I reach out, I make partnerships with organizations because it's one thing to put it together, but we need to also make sure everybody who can benefit from it knows that it exists, knows they can read it for free, or if they want, they can have the print copy. But as I said, some of the interviews, and I hope people will go and read them. We had this young man, he's has autism, and he's from Ireland. And he was this shy, nonverbal, withdrawn young boy. And through magic, he found his voice and he can communicate and has a personality and a sense of humor. And he's so terrific at magic that he is performing all over the world. And then we have people like Alexandra and Timothy, who also had autism, and they've written books. They are advocates. We had a young woman who has Down syndrome, who was a model and actress, and now she just graduated Clemson College. So as an editor in chief, I am just exposed to so much, and it is inspiring, and I love sharing it with everyone.
It's
Wow.
amazing. I mean, it's so professional and, extremely rich for resources really across the spectrum of the community. And you know what I also love, Faye, about reading it every month is that you really get everyone, and Mark, I think you'll appreciate this, out of their silos, because so much of the content that you provide is cross disability. And there's so many resources that are available out there for individuals, family members, and caregivers to take advantage of.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark.
No, go ahead, Faye.
No, I was just going to say, and although we can't possibly find all of the resources, whenever we can and whenever people will share them, we try to provide as much as possible. We also try to provide guidance on how they could go about finding resources, even though we can't list every single resource in the 50 states.
So last question, Faye. Mark hit on our money question, the one we ask everybody, but is there anything else that you want to mention to our audience before we go?
Well, I would love to share about the other hat that I wear. And I started a Brain Research Foundation. It's totally volunteer run, Irene and Eric Simon Brain Research Foundation. And just by chance, I started this 20 years ago. So just by chance, there's a lot of connection to what I'm doing with the magazine, of course, and with the special needs community. And this volunteer run nonprofit is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. And we have a summer fellowship program that attracts bright, motivated students, undergrads, first-year grad, and first-year medical students. And they get a $2,500 award if they're selected to work with an outstanding neuroscientist who is a head of a lab for the whole summer. And what's really exciting is, even though we don't have any grants, it's just through events and through donations, we have, as of this summer, given out 116 fellowships. And many of the students have or are going on to get their PhD or MD PhD in neuroscience. We have some that have already won awards, some that have already published. So it's quite exciting. Our goal is that these brilliant students will add to the work of the senior scientists towards treatments and cures for autism, epilepsy, PTSD, brain cancer, addiction, pain, traumatic brain injury, brain cancer, addiction, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other brain diseases and conditions, which, as you see, really fits well with what we're doing with the magazine.
Absolutely.
So I hope that if anybody's interested in either the summer fellowship program or our events, by the time this aired, we'll probably have done our golf outing and dinner, and it's called the Endorphin Golf Outing and Dinner because the inspiration for this foundation, Dr. Eric Simon, coined the word endorphin. So a fun fact. And we hope that they will go to www.iesbrainresearch.org and learn about the fellowships, learn about the events. And of course, going back to the magazine, I hope everybody will share about EP for Free, will follow us on social media and share our posts because, as I said, my dream is that everybody who could benefit from this information will know that they can read it for free.
Mic drop.
EP for free, Mark.
Boom. You heard it here first. I hope.
Maybe not first, but it's still important.
I love that. Faye, we got really one big, very important question for you. We asked this to everybody. But what's the best thing about ABLE accounts?
Well, in my opinion, it's allowing people with disabilities to work and not worry about losing their benefits, to save. If their parents leave them more money than is allowed, they don't have to worry about losing their benefits. I mean, that is just so important because I know that a lot of people make decisions on, oh my goodness, am I going to lose my benefits?
So true. Well, this
We've
has been
talked
great.
about wrapping it up with a bow.
Wrapping it up with a bow. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring us on home, everybody. Faye, it's been amazing having you on our little show today, and thank you for sharing everything that you do. Thank you for all of the energy you bring to this space, but most importantly, thank you for helping the people that you help. Sara and I mean that from the bottom of our hearts, as two other soldiers in this war. But we need more people like you.
And you.
Cheers.